Concerned citizens who support reform of Canada's child welfare policy assembled in front of the Calgary courthouse this week to educate the public on the shortcomings of Alberta's child welfare system. More and more parents are finding their actions being scrutinized by social workers, and when children are removed from families, their safety is not guaranteed.
The woman laid my daughter in this room for hours before my daughter was already dead for 3.5 hours before she even noticed.
Alberta has a dark history of legalized sterilization programs and other eugenicist policies. Indeed, eugenics laws, which allowed the state to decide who could and could not have children, were only repealed in their entirety in 1972. But now, bereaved parents and child protection activists claim there is a similar form of state-sanctioned brutality being visited upon the most vulnerable members of Canadian society via the increasingly privatized and deregulated so-called child welfare system.
We need to protect our children from our child protection agency, the government.
Statistics suggest that there may be a correlation between the privatized model of so-called child welfare in Canada and increased rates of child apprehension. A study conducted by a British university indicated that Alberta's children were being disproportionately apprehended by the state in comparison with other Western jurisdictions. The study demonstrated that while, for example, Japan only apprehended 17 children out of every 10,000, that the government of the Canadian province of Ontario apprehended 64 per 10,000 children, whilst Alberta distinguished itself by taking 111 children per 10,000.
The children are commodity. See, the Child Protecting Services, the executive director, he's not responsible for the protection of the child. He's responsible, think about this, he is responsible for the shareholder. So he needs to apprehend many, many children in order to please the shareholder. That's the reality of things. Our children are commodity, and we need to stop that.
The Alberta government maintains that more children would suffer if they reduced the amounts of children they extricate from families. Yet analysts have argued that the government's time and money would be better invested by subsidizing food and housing costs and otherwise addressing the socio-economic problems which degenerate families. Joshua Blakeney, Press TV, Calgary.